What the heck is going on with NFTs?
And there's something called NFTs.
The NFT and called NFT.
NFT.
NFTs.
Non-fungible tokens.
Okay, so I had a conversation with my family over the weekend about NFTs and crypto, super casual. And I realized that NFTs are still this very strange thing that only internet people actually know about. And even then, most people don't truly understand what it is, including you. And it's simply because of this. This is the technology adoption lifecycle, a model that describes the adoption of a new thing in society. The first people to use a new product are called innovators, followed by early adopters, and so on, until the last group, the laggards. For example, cryptocurrency such as Bitcoin, its popularity accelerated significantly in the past few years alone. But yet, it's still only at this stage, the early majority. NFTs, on the other hand, are still very, very new over here. So let's make everything easy to understand. Are NFTs the biggest scam of our century, or will they transform the world as we know it? But first, you need to actually understand what is an NFT.
NFTs.
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 NFTs, like NFTs.
Purchase an NFT.
Bored Ape.
Explain NFTs to people that don't know what you're talking about.
This painting sold for $51,670,000 in 1989. Adjusted for inflation, that's nearly $121 million today. Even if you didn't know anything about art, you're probably still familiar with this man, Pablo Picasso, who revolutionized what it meant to be an artist. This piece is from Picasso's modern contemporary collection, which sold for $91.8 million very recently. It's strange when you think about it. Value. It's a very interesting concept, so uniquely human. This painting by Picasso is nothing more than fabric with some colored oils splattered across the surface. Functionally completely useless. Yet we, as a whole, all agree that this painting is worth more than 1,000 lifetimes of food, water, and shelter. And now is probably a good time to tell you that I haven't been completely honest with you. This is a lie. It's not a painting by Picasso. In fact, it's not a painting at all. It's a digital art piece on the computer, on the internet, that someone now contractually owns because of a new technology called the NFT. But what exactly does that mean? Owning a digital piece of art. It's not tangible, unlike this water bottle right here. I can touch it, I can smell it, I can taste it, I can see it. All my senses agree that this is real. But this, I can't do any of that with this. So, are we in the middle of the biggest scam of our generation, simply a way to part a fool and his money? Maybe. By the end of this video, you'll have enough information to decide for yourself if we're at the peak of another tech bubble, or if we're in the middle of completely revolutionizing what it means to be digital and physical. Okay, let's jump into it. NFT stands for non-fungible token. To make things easier, we can change the word fungible to the word replaceable, non-replaceable token, meaning it's something that you cannot replace with something equivalent. The biggest misconception that I need to clarify is that an NFT is not art that you see like this or this or this. An NFT is just some data, a digital certificate of ownership that in theory lets you say you own this unique thing, whether it's something digital like this, or technically even this water bottle. The key point is that an NFT is separate from the thing itself. But let's focus on the middle word here, fungible. What exactly does fungible mean? Here, take this $100 bill. It's fungible or replaceable because if I rip it up, I can replace it with another $100 bill, and it would be functionally identical, which, by the way, this is fake, so please don't call the cops on me. However, here's where it gets really interesting. Focus on this $100 bill, signed by Mr. Magic Mustache Lamp over there. This $100 bill brings me good luck, and if I rip it up, I can't just replace it with another $100 bill because this one has special value to me, because Mr. Magic Lamp can no longer sign a new bill, because, well, look at him. So this is non-fungible. That might have been confusing, so let's use these Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Here, let's zoom in a bit. I have two Dark Magician cards here. The one on the left is a replaceable copy, since it's a regular Dark Magician card. It's produced in bulk and is interchangeable. However, the one on the right is a non-replaceable copy. Why? It's an ultra-rare holographic Dark Magician card signed by the Dark Magician himself. Once this limited edition Yu-Gi-Oh card is sold out, you can't get a new one because they don't make it anymore. So that's why you'll pay a premium to get this extra special card even if you're not technically getting more out of it. That's why this Picasso painting costs so much more. You're paying for its history and its uniqueness. By the way, if you're a real one, comment below what is your favorite Yu-Gi-Oh card. But here's where it gets really interesting, and it's applying this uniqueness aspect towards the digital world. Like this picture of a rock that sold for $1.8 million. In theory, digital media is something that can be infinitely reproduced by simply right-clicking and saving it. So how can you have something special and unique if you can create an identically functional copy? It's by using this concept, NFT. Imagine it as a digital signature that links to this image that can be used to verify that you are the unique owner. This technology is still very new, and it seems like it's only being used by 15-year-olds to sell monkey pictures wearing funky hats. But this use case is nothing. Nothing compared to what I'll show you later in the video. The way a digital signature or NFT is stored and verified is in this thing called the blockchain. Think of the blockchain like a public cloud database where anyone can see the data, but the data cannot be manipulated. Now, the mechanics of the blockchain are super complicated, so I'll boil it down to the bare essentials by using an example from the most important moment of your life, when you bought your very first cheeseburger.
I'll take the cheeseburger meal.
You're at a McDonald's and you order a double cheeseburger, extra onions, and the cashier tells you that it costs $2.31. So you whip out your credit card and you swipe it. When the card is swiped, a signal is sent to your bank account to verify that you have more than $2.31 to spend. When it's confirmed that you are in fact a baller, a transaction happens between your bank account and McDonald's bank account, which is then recorded in the bank's private database. That's how our financial system works today. Now, blockchain technology aims to do the exact same thing, except without the middleman, i.e. the banks. In this blockchain world, when I swipe my card, all of the people's computers will work together to verify that I have enough digital funds or cryptocurrency in my digital wallet to buy the cheeseburger. If it's confirmed that I have the funds, the transaction is then recorded on a public database or blockchain that everyone can access, but no one can manipulate. And you guessed it, NFTs are stored in this blockchain or cloud database. It's using the exact same technology as cryptocurrencies, except an NFT is not a cryptocurrency. They were and are used for different purposes. A quick refresher. A cryptocurrency is a digital currency that lets you buy or sell goods, similar to a fiat currency like the US dollar. NFTs, on the other hand, is a digital certificate that says you own something, and you can buy or sell this digital certificate with cryptocurrency. And all this happens on the blockchain. So how does an NFT actually get created, linked to a digital image, and get on this blockchain? Well, this is actually one of the biggest flaws to the entire NFT system that could cause everything to collapse. But we'll cover that a bit later. Right now, NFTs are still at its infancy stage to the extent that we haven't even tasted its future potential yet. Rather, what we see in the NFT world is people convincing others to buy and sell pictures of a rock at higher and higher prices, looking to make a quick buck. But there's so much more future possibilities, but only if we can get over these three obstacles. It was the 1990s, the era of VHS, roller skates, and jawbreakers. There was a little craze going on around the globe with these things, Beanie Babies, a collection of unique and rare plushie toys that people bought for thousands of dollars with one goal in mind, a dream, that its hype and its uniqueness would let them profit handsomely in the future. But things didn't turn out that way. Most of these bear, monkey, horse, toy things are now completely worthless and millions of people lost a ton of money. Now, I'm not saying this is what's happening with NFTs, but some people are taking advantage of this NFT euphoria. Just a few months ago, the creator of the Evil Apes NFT series scammed investors out of millions and millions of dollars. Let me be clear, I'm not saying NFTs, this technology, is inherently negative. Rather, I'm saying I'm not a fan of how the technology is being used right now with so much hype around monkey pictures. I'm worried if NFTs ever become permanently synonymous with scams and get-rich-quick schemes, that it could slow mainstream adoption and the development of actual use cases that could transform the direction of our digital and physical world. But this first obstacle is only the tip of the iceberg. There's something else with NFTs that could cause irrevocable harm.
It may not seem obvious, but we are facing a man-made disaster
on a global scale.
One of the biggest problems with this technology is how it functions at its core. NFT transactions, whether to create, bid, pay, or transfer digital ownership, relies on the blockchain. And right now, blockchain technology consumes a ridiculous amount of power. Just Ethereum, the blockchain that most NFTs are on, consumes around 99.8 terawatts of power every single year. That's more power than places like Belgium or the Philippines use every year. In fact, a single artist who sold just 2 NFTs used 175 megawatts of power, the equivalent of creating the greenhouse gas emissions of 21 years of a US household's electricity use. And this is only the beginning. Ethereum's energy consumption has skyrocketed in recent years, and with an increased interest in NFTs and sales of monkey pictures, things are only getting worse. Now here's the biggest misunderstanding with NFTs. Mere existence of it on the blockchain. Let's say that you bought this NFT for this Beeple image for $69 million. If you actually open up the NFT file, the digital certificate that's on the blockchain, what you will find will shock you. Because you won't find much of anything. You won't find the name of the art, you won't find the name of the artist, or even the actual art or image itself. And this isn't a mistake. It's how the NFT system works today. The reason being is that the image itself doesn't actually live on the blockchain, because uploading a JPEG file onto the blockchain takes a lot of space, is very expensive, and very inefficient. Instead, this is how an NFT is actually created and generated. You essentially go on a website like OpenSea, and you upload your image file or whatever you want, you fill out some information, and then you're practically done. But this is where it gets really fascinating. What lives in the blockchain is just the NFT itself, the digital certificate. Essentially a very small data file, a piece of digital paper that says, I own this digital image, and then there's a hyperlink, a URL that points you to the website where you can go to look at its image and the details. The digital image that you thought you were buying forever actually lives on a website's servers, not the blockchain. And there are 2 massive problems with this. One is the digital image is dependent on the website's survival, which can go down at any time. And if it does go down, your image is gone. Although your digital signature still lives in the blockchain, there's no associated image. Number 2 is you're placing your trust in the domain and website owner. In theory, the website owner could just redirect the URL that's in your NFT file to a Rickroll video, and bam, your associated image is gone like that. And you, just being the NFT owner, the owner of this digital certificate, you have absolutely no control over any of this. The only way to ensure permanence of this digital image is if it's stored directly on the blockchain, which again is very challenging. Now, there are some things people are trying to do to reduce or minimize this problem, such as using multiple hosts, but still, the system has major flaws. But let's assume that we're able to solve these 3 hurdles. The perception of NFTs aren't tarnished forever, blockchain energy consumption is significantly reduced, and we come up with a way to permanently store both the digital image and the digital signature permanently. Then, we can peek behind the curtains and get a taste into the future, which is surrounded by people just like you, turning that like button into a beautiful orange. Okay, here are 5 future use cases for NFTs that will redefine what it means to be physical and digital. And by no means is this an exhaustive list. Here, think about what NFTs could do for digital artists across the world. Musicians, filmmakers, photographers. Other than the A or B list celebrities, most struggle to make their creations profitable. There are huge corporations or middlemen that exploit these creators by taking a large chunk of revenue and creative control, and in return give the actual creators just peanuts. NFTs, it's possible for artists to retain more control and be more financially rewarded, as they won't need to rely on a middleman anymore. Or what about video games? Recently, Ubisoft, the company that makes Assassin's Creed and Rainbow Six, they released a new platform called Quartz, a way to buy and trade unique NFTs on some of their games. It's still in very early stages, but imagine if you can create unique gear or clothes for characters in the game that no one else has access to, which you can trade and sell to one another. Or what if we merge our digital and physical lives together? NFTs can be used to increase security and confidence between a buyer and seller, because you'll always be able to verify the authenticity of an item, whether it comes directly from the manufacturer or not, making scams a lot less likely to happen. NFTs could even disrupt how governments and entire cities function. It could end land disputes, copyright infringements, and many other legal problems. A publicly verifiable and impossible to manipulate database would make property, land, and car ownership much easier to manage and more effective to run in the real world. But even then, this is still thinking way too small, way too primitive. NFTs could overhaul our entire lives as we know it. For example, Ready Player One is a story where people can connect into a virtual world to live a completely different life every single day. And this virtual world and society, just like our physical one, it needs rules to run smoothly. Rules about who owns what and what you can do with it.
Turn into any giant robot for 2 minutes. That's rad.
And that's where this concept of an NFT can be applied. For example, only the NFT owner may download and use the artwork, tools, programs, equipment, land titles, or whatever else is tokenized with an NFT in the virtual world. At the moment, the use cases for NFTs are limited, run with rampant speculation and get-rich-quick scams, but NFTs, the core technology, has so much potential that is only limited by our collective creativity. Now personally, I am a little concerned that the current uses of this technology could give NFTs a bad name, and the whole technology could get written off if enough people get hurt. But maybe this is all part of the life cycle. Maybe using this dream of getting rich quickly attracts greater interest from the innovators and early adopters. Maybe this is how this technology can be funded initially until we can truly harness its future potential. But do realize that just like with Beanie Babies, eventually the hype will die, the euphoria will end, and people will realize that they've been paying tens of thousands of dollars for pictures of monkeys. It would all come crumbling down. But soon after, underneath the ashes, the rubbles, a new flower will bud, and another wave of interest will be born with more meaningful industrial and digital applications that serve a much greater purpose than just collecting pictures of rocks. And it's at this moment when people will realize that the most exciting thing about NFTs is not owning pictures of penguins. Rather, it's realizing that the whole world has overcome the biggest hurdle of a self-functioning digital economy by making scarcity and uniqueness possible. But that can only happen if the world doesn't go into complete chaos and destruction from when and if the US dollar dies. Check out this video to learn more, and trust me, it's going to blow your mind.